Blog Talk Radio.
The funeral is about to begin, sir.
The calling hours.
When there's no more room in hell, the dead will walk here.
They will say that I have shed innocent blood. What's blood for, if not for shedding?
Another episode of The Calling Hours on Horror Society Radio. I am your host, Michael Jones, the Dedman at HorrorSociety.com. How we doing tonight, ladies and gentlemen? I think we have a pretty interesting show for you. Tonight, we are going to be interviewing the actress and model, Deborah Funes, and I'm hoping I pronounced her last name correctly. Scream Queen was one of her movies from 2008. Jebadiah's Axe this year. Disciples this year. She's also rumored to be in a film called The Devil's Choice in 2015. So that was some of the stuff that she has listed on her IMDb page, and we'll certainly be asking her about all of that. This evening, Metal Blade Records Spotlight is on Facebreaker. An amazing album. I just enjoyed it. It is termed zombie death metal, and it is everything it portrays itself to be. So we'll be hearing some music from them a little bit later on this evening as well. We will also be reviewing Scream Factory's the Amityville Horror 3D, the Blu-ray. And yes, for those of you that are wondering, that is part of the Amityville box set that was put out. And if you have a 3D Blu-ray player and 3D TV, yes, the film is in 3D. So we will certainly be talking about that a little bit later as well. So we have a bunch of news this evening, and a bit of a surprise. Next week's show, we are going to have Barbie Wilde, Simon Bamford, and Nicholas Vince. Now, for those of you that might be a little rusty on your names, how about the female Cenobite, the Chatterer Cenobite, and the Butterball Cenobite from Clive Barker's Hellraiser 2. It's going to be a great, great interview. That show will be next Tuesday, the 29th, the week of Halloween. Figured if you're going to have a really, really, really big show the week of Halloween, that's definitely one of the shows to do. So next week, those are our special guests. And that will kind of lead us into our news segment for the evening. Now, our first bit of horror news for the evening comes from Barbie Wilde, who, actress, author, interviewer. Again, she played the female Cenobite in Clive Barker's Hellraiser 2. Like I said, just a well-known interviewer, well-known author, actress. And when I talked to her for her interview, she had mentioned something about a Women in Horror UK calendar. So I told her I would mention it, and she sent me the press release for it and a couple of pics, and we'll actually post this news item later on tonight up at Horror Society. But this is the press release she sent me. Women in Horror Calendar 2014. 12 creative women working in the macabre in the UK. Horror is a genre that encompasses all the arts: film, music, literature, sculpture, painting, fashion. And this year, a special calendar is celebrating the contribution of 12 women to the horror scene in the UK, with all the profits going to charity. The calendar is put together by filmmaker Melanie Light, based in London. From an early age, Melanie was drawn to a strange interest in odd things, having collected roadkill with her siblings, to drawing deformed demon women for her GCSE art projects. At art school in Brighton, her work was influenced by her keen interest in serial killers and the dark arts. Melanie has been production designing and art directing various horror films, music promos, and short films since 2006. In 2010, she decided to take on the challenge of directing her own short horror film, Switch, which screened at the Film for Fright Fest, the BEV Festival special on bloody women at the ICA, and won the Best Short Film at the Queen of Horror Festival in 2012. Melanie is the driving force behind the Women in Horror calendar. Quote, I decided that I needed to give something back. The calendar is an idea to showcase creative women of various roles, all with a macabre feel. A friend asked me why a calendar and not a book. She goes, well, I like to be organized. It's not a pin-up calendar, but a showcase of talent in front of and behind the camera. The profit made from selling the calendar will be split between two charities. Rape Crisis England and Wales provide support for women and girls who have been raped, as well as tackling the trafficking of women. The Sophie Lancaster Foundation has particular resonance with Melanie, having been bullied herself at school for being goth. Following the horrific murder of Sophie Lancaster in 2007, her family wanted to ensure a lasting legacy, and so the foundation was established. Its motto, Stamp Out Prejudice, Hatred, and Intolerance Everywhere, reflects the charity's aim to challenge the prejudice and intolerance towards people from alternative subcultures, both culturally and in legislation. The scope of the calendar means a really broad variety of talents are celebrated. Some of the women featured include, amongst others, presenter Emily Booth of Horror Bits on the Horror Channel, actress Pollyanna McIntosh, author and, of course, Hellraiser female Cenobite Barbie Weil, taxidermy artist Tessa Farmer, and, of course, Melanie herself. The photography is being done by Tina Korhonen, who is known for her work in magazines such as Metal Hammer and Total Tattoo. The shoot was held at the Murder Mile Studio in Clapton, East London. So if you want to make your pre-order for this calendar, I would recommend going to the Facebook page, which is facebook.com/WomenInHorrorCalendarUK. You know, and I think it's a very worthwhile project. You know, Barbie herself has put herself behind this and is in the calendar. So certainly go by and check it out. You know, all the proceeds are going to a good charity. So spread the word and support women in horror. You don't have to be just U.S. women. We like women in horror from all countries. So definitely check that out. So our second bit of news this evening comes from our friends at Scream Factory and the press release they sent, and, of course, the guys over at Arrow in the Head. And what we've got here is details on the upcoming Cat People and Die Monster Die Blu-rays. And article goes on to state that Scream Factory is delivering some New Year's treats in January with the releases of two cult classics on Blu-ray, Paul Schrader's Sexy Scary Cat People and The Crazy Die Monster Die. Available for the first time on Blu-ray, the definitive collector's edition of Cat People is going to feature the movie in an anamorphic widescreen. It's going to have special bonus content, a collectible cover featuring new retro-style artwork, and a reversible wrap with the original theatrical key art. It's a remake of the 1942 Jacques Tourneur horror noir classic. Cat People stars Natasha Kinski as Irina, a beautiful young woman who discovers love for the first time, only to find out that the experience brings tragic consequences. The tremendous passion of this girl's first romantic love is so strong, however, it bypasses the chaos around her, including the extraordinary demands of her brother, played by Malcolm McDowell, as it pushes her onto her own bizarre destiny. Some of the special features will include new interviews with writer-director Paul Schrader, Natasha Kinski, Malcolm McDowell, John Hurd, Annette O'Toole, Lynn Lowry, and composer Giorgio Moroder. Theatrical trailers, still galleries, TV spots. There will probably be more knowing Scream Factory. And the other half of that, Die Monster Die, will January 21st, 2014. Scream Factory invites collectors and movie aficionados to dive into the horror classic Die Monster Die, a.k.a. Monster of Terror, a film by Daniel Haller, who did the Dunwich Horror, and starring original Frankenstein's Boris Karloff. We have Nick Adams, Invasion of the Astro Monsters, and Susan Farmer of Dracula, Prince of Darkness from 1966. This entertaining, quirky cinema classic is a loose adaptation of H.P. Lovecraft's short story, The Color Out of Space. An English scientist entertains a young American visitor, serving up tea, terror, and a beautiful daughter who is soon torn between her father's evil ways and her need to protect the man she loves from a diabolical end. Special features haven't been listed for this yet, but another two great films. I've never seen Die Monster Die. I've heard of it. Be nice to see it on Blu-ray. Now, I do remember seeing Cat People, both on VHS, and on cable, just like, most of us have, I'm sure. But, again, more classics for us to add to our collections. I have no doubt that the transfers and everything will be great. It'll be really interesting to see what kind of special features they get for Die Monster Die, especially an older film. You always want to get more. So the release date for both of those movies, again, is announced as January 21st of 2014. So as more details become available on those, I will certainly pass that information along to everybody. So, and sticking in the vein of DVD releases, Arrow and Ahead also had an article about The Twilight Zone, the complete series coming to DVD next month. And the article goes on to say that The Twilight Zone remains a television's most treasured anthology program. The brainchild of writer and narrator Rod Serling, inspired by the pulp comics, novels, and sci-fi films of his youth. The series introduced its own special brand of weirdness to the viewers on October 2nd, 1959. As a program that correctly billed itself as one of shadow and substance, of things and ideas, The Twilight Zone left indelible tracks, not to mention unforgettable theme music, and directors that included Don Medford, Douglas Hayes, and Richard L. Baer. Now, Image Entertainment will be bringing the entire original series to DVD with The Twilight Zone, the complete series, which you can pre-order on their site. 4,524 minutes of some of the best and imaginative television ever aired. The series cast includes Rod Serling, Art Carney, Burgess Meredith, Cliff Robertson, Dennis Hopper, Bill Bixby, Leonard Nimoy, Burt Reynolds, Don Rickles, Jack Klugman, Robert Redford, Lee Marvin, Martin Landau, Telly Savalas, William Shatner, and tons of more. Like I said, you'd have to go to the site and get more info for it. I had trouble with my internet connection earlier and was not actually able to see the link. But to have the entire series in your hands all at one time, the original series, is just absolutely astounding. So I personally can't wait. I'm sure no matter what the price is, it would be amazing. The only thing that could possibly be better is if it was a Blu-ray collection. But God only knows what a Blu-ray set of the entire thing would run you. But it, again, I mean, there is a lot of history involved with the Twilight Zone. People that were in the series, people that were in the episodes, all the things that go along with that. So, again, go and check out Image's site and order this up. Like I said, it's a piece of history, and maybe we'll get lucky one day and they'll put it all on Blu-ray. So switching over to music for just a moment or two, I got on BloodyDisgusting.com the full Halloween lineup for Rob Zombie's Great American Nightmare has been announced. And the article goes on to say the full musical lineup for Rob Zombie's Great American Nightmare on Halloween night has been announced. Previously, Andrew W.K., Mod Sun, and Beware of Darkness were slotted. Now they will be joined by punk rock legends Jello Biafra and the Guantanamo School of Medicine and Agent Orange. The event will take place at Fearplex in Pomona, California on Thursday, October 31st. I'd say regardless of whoever showed up, if Rob Zombie's throwing a Halloween party, I'd want to be there. Whether it's a haunt, a party, a concert, I don't care. I'd go hang out. It sounds like he's got great musical talent that's going to be there. It sounds like it's going to be a slammin' metal time. So those of you that are anywhere near Pomona, California, obviously are in for a treat, and I'm sure you'll have a great time. So I'm going to try and get some more details on that as well, and see if I can't get some more news up on Horror Society so everyone can see what's going on with it. I'll move on to some video game news for a moment. I think this is interesting since you're having all these little talks about aliens. We had the NECA characters, and there's the rumored talks of another Prometheus. We'll see what happens with that. But on Bloody Disgusting, they say that there's a trademark filed for Alien Isolation. It may star Ripley's daughter. So I'm just going to quote straight from the article on this one. It looks like we could be getting another Alien game, though after the hot mess that was Aliens Colonial Marines, I'm not sure there's much demand for. I don't know about that. I kind of thought it was good, but to get to the meat of the article, 20th Century Fox has filed a trademark for something called Alien Isolation. We know it's a game because it's filed for computer game and video game software, downloadable mobile software, and decorative magnets. The article goes on to say this should not be taken as confirmation that there's a follow-up to Colonial Marines incoming. It may be something else entirely, like the start of a new franchise, or maybe it's just something fancy to slap on your fridge with magnets. Who knows? I don't know about that. According to Kotaku, the game, which may be the next-gen Alien game developer Creative Assembly was hiring for last spring, may star Ellen Ripley's daughter. Their source, who claims to know what's in the works at Sega, says it's a first-person shooter with elements of stealth and horror. Supposedly, it's inspired by Dishonored and BioShock and will follow Amanda Ripley as she mows down clones and soldiers on a space station, with aliens playing a significantly smaller role in the combat. Apparently, Sega's original plan was to announce the game at E3 in June, but they delayed the announcement to continue working on the game. They're taking Colonial Marines' overwhelmingly negative reception seriously. He goes on to close with, if all of this proves true, I'm glad Sega isn't looking to release another awful Alien game. The last tarnished the franchise pretty badly and managed to cause the developer Timegate's closure. I'm not sure about the focus on clones and soldiers as enemies. I can't say that sounds very fun. If a majority of the game features a single alien, to me, that sounds more like Call of Duty in space. I don't know. I mean, I didn't think Colonial Marines was all that bad. I mean, sometimes you have to look at a game for what it is. If I get to, every game doesn't have to be Call of Duty for me or, 25th anniversary edition of Madden. Sometimes it's just fun to sit down and play a game that's based on something that you like. And, if you make the games any more like Call of Duty, you might as well play Call of Duty. I mean, the only reason I play Call of Duty is because it got zombies in it. If it didn't have zombies in it, I wouldn't play it. I mean, Aliens has, if this has aliens in it and it plays like Call of Duty, fine, I'll play it, It's, technology is so far advanced, we gotta calm down on all our hate on everything. I think this has potential. Hopefully it's not refrigerator magnets like it could have been, like it was kind of hinted at. That'd be a little sad, but, I'll wait until all we can do is wait till there's more news, and hopefully there'll be an announcement. Maybe there'll be a video trailer. So we can go from there. Moving back to music for our next news item, though. John Carpenter's Halloween score returns to vinyl. And I found this little tidbit on Shock Till You Drop. So hi to our friends over there. First time I've used you guys as a news source on the show. Okay, quote, Mondo has been testing this for a few weeks now, and it's official. John Carpenter's Halloween soundtrack is making its way back to vinyl. GQ, of all people, got the exclusive lowdown on this release, which drops on October 31st. Phantom City Creative is doing the jacket art, and it's a beauty. Head inside for the details and a better look at the art. How do you get one? Follow at Mondo Tees on October 31st and wait for the announcement on that day. According to GQ, quote, Halloween's original motion picture soundtrack by John Carpenter comes in a 2X LP, or 2-disc LP, in a deluxe gatefold packaging with artwork by Phantom City Creative. The record itself is a 180-gram black vinyl with randomly inserted orange vinyl cut at 45 RPM. Mondo's release is a monumental one, as this is the first time that Carpenter's Halloween has ever been released on vinyl in its full version. It will be the most comprehensive vinyl release of Halloween ever. Out freaking standing as far as I'm concerned. I still own a record player. I still own a lot of vinyl. And there's something to be said for hearing the music, on the format that it was meant for back in the day. There's just something about listening to something on vinyl that makes it unique. If you head on over to Mondo's Twitter page, and that was at Mondo, let me make sure I'm giving you the right place, at Mondo T, yeah. I haven't seen the price on it yet. Like I said, I had problems with the computer earlier today. But, I would like to see this done more and more. It seems like vinyl's on the fringe of making a comeback and dying again and everything that comes along with it. I think it's a great collector's format. There's still a lot of soundtracks out there, original horror soundtracks that you can only get on vinyl. And I think it adds something a little different, as a collector, especially with, all the movies and stuff that I collect. I think it's kind of cool to have, like I said, to have vinyl. I like having a hard copy of stuff. I don't necessarily just want to, have a CD or just have the MP3 on my iTunes. To me, there's no real originality in that. It's just another collectible, hearkening back to old days, but definitely worth checking out. So I definitely think I shall be ordering this one, and I will let more people know about that as it comes. And big celebrity news, I guess. And this one is off of Bloody Disgusting. Bruce Campbell confirms Army of Darkness 2 is happening. And I know we've kind of touched on this a couple of times, but last month, the Evil Dead remake had been rumored, and, there had been talk with the director of the Evil Dead remake, and he was talking about whether there was a sequel or if Sam was going to get into doing another one, and, what his level of seriousness was and things like that. And it appears that Bruce has confirmed, last month, the Evil Dead remake, Fede Alvarez had said that Sam Raimi was looking at doing it. Bruce Campbell confirmed both his involvement and the fact that the movie will happen. He told the crowd at Wizard World Nashville Comic Con, the last one was 22 years ago. I just haven't been racing to do it. Sam Raimi is just a little bit busy making the biggest movies in Hollywood. I used to be busy. Now I'm not. That's why I'm here. And Denny joked, Ash would have to stop fighting occasionally from chasing some deadites to catch his breath. Maybe we could do that. He said, I don't know. That would be exciting. Fight in a walker. Maybe that would be all right. Hit them with my cane. Fake them out. Have a fake heart attack. Distract the zombie. I like it. But at the end, he was serious about it, and he said, all right, sir, the answer is yes. As long as this has been rumored and talked about and hemmed and hawed, the success of the Evil Dead remake, the releases on Blu-ray, this is something that's been a long time coming and should have been done a while ago. I mean, there's no doubt that Bruce Campbell can carry the film. He was one of the better characters on Burn Notice. And the history that the films have and the rabid cult following. The newer generation has now been exposed to Evil Dead through the remake. So now, hopefully, we'll get to see Bruce in his element playing Ash the way it should be. Whether or not there'll be a crossover between the two in terms of continuity later on down the line, I mean, it could be a very distinct possibility. But all we can do right now is take it that this is a bit of good news. We're going to see the original man back in the role that he made famous. So I think that's really good. And I did want to throw one more little bit of two little tidbits of news out there. I would like to say thank you to the good people at the Haunted Forest of Panic Point. I went out there Saturday night and did some makeup for their haunt, including one of the zombies in the graveyard later on in the walk. And it looked really good. Again, they added some more scare elements to the haunted hayride and things like that. The forest just as creepy as it was before, and it was absolutely slammed out. So if you're in the Youngsville area, definitely go out and check out the Haunted Forest at Panic Point. These guys are running a great haunt, good people. They got great people working for them. I wouldn't take any children under 12. It might be a little bit intense. It certainly has its moments. But it's well worth checking out. Everyone in the family have a good time. They don't touch you or anything like that, but it's definitely an intense experience. So definitely go out there and check them out. And I just wanted to throw it out there to all my fans out there, that know, and all of our listeners, we're big fans of the Orphan Killer here. Matt Farnsworth and Diane Foster were our first guests on our, like I said, on our very first show. And news came out the other day. Matt let me know that there are new pressings for the Orphan Killer Blu-ray DVD release. And they're supposed to be, you can get your pre-order now by going to the Orphan Killer website or checking out the Orphan Killer Facebook page. So definitely go out, check that out. It's a steelbook. It's a nice collector's edition. Would go great in anyone's collection. So if you're a big fan of the movie, or if you have not even seen it yet, I highly, highly recommend you pick up a copy of Matt Farnsworth, The Orphan Killer. One of the best new icons, in my opinion, that's out there in the slasher genre. I think a lot of filmmakers could learn a lot by watching what Matt and Diane did in this film, and how Marcus is going to become the character even more that he is, since the rumors of a part 2 seem to be very, very true. Miss Von Doom. But that's pretty much what we have for news this evening. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to take our Metal Blade spotlight this evening. The name of the band is Facebreaker. Listening to this album, I was just absolutely stunned. I mean, you almost believe this is the music you would hear while the zombie apocalypse is going on. I mean, this is tight stuff. It's powerful. It's driving, but it's not overwhelming. There's a ferocity to it. there's a steady beat like it would be zombie. They just keep coming. It keeps coming. It keeps coming. You can't outrun it. And that's what these guys sound like to me. So tonight for our first Metal Blade Spotlight, the band is Facebreaker. The name of the album is dedicated to the flesh. The name of the song is Tomb of the Hungry Dead. We'll be back in 5 minutes.
What?
And that was Facebreaker, Dedicated to the Flesh is the name of the CD. Tomb of the Hungry Dead is the name of the song. There will be a little bit more on these guys during our second Metal Blade Spotlight later on in the evening. But to let everyone know, we will be doing our interview here in a little bit under 8 minutes or so whenever Deborah is ready to call in. So in the meanwhile, I'm going to give us a little bit of background info on our guest this evening, Deborah Funes. Now, Deborah, about 12 years ago, Deborah decided to move here from Argentina to Miami. She has done lingerie modeling for Italian companies, Modeling World. She's done TV commercials for MTV. She did an interview for PlayBoy TV. Let's see what else. She's done a lot of Latin television shows, and we will certainly ask her about that as well. 2005, the original Baywatch producers chose her from hundreds of models for a pilot TV series. She really began her acting career in the American market after that. In 2007, she had supporting roles in Closing Arguments, which was Closing Arguments, the short film, My Kitten short film, and the Scream Farm feature film. And we will certainly be asking her about all of those when she calls in. One of the things that I've noticed about Deborah, and I think it's really good, she has a Cafe Press site, and we will be giving that address out. And she does an excellent job of marketing herself. I mean, when it comes to everything that she has, I mean, T-shirts, mugs, calendars. I mean, she even has T-shirts for dogs, which I think is pretty cool, considering the fact that a lot of people like to buy clothing for their dog these days. So, I mean, anytime you can get yourself out there any way you can, you do it. So, if you go to the Horse Society website about the post for this evening, we certainly have her up. And we have all of her links up so that you can visit her store or her IMDb page. She has her official Facebook fan page. So there's plenty to learn from this young actress. So when she is ready to call in, we will certainly start the interview with her. But for those of you that are not familiar with any of her films, let me give you the rundown. She, of course, got her start in 2007-2008 Scream Farm in the role of Robin. She was in a film called Closing Arguments. She played Cherub. And then she was in Jebadiah's Axe and plays Rose. Now, I know she's very excited about Jebadiah's Axe, some of the talking and chatting we've been doing back and forth on Facebook. She's been very excited about the film, so I'm definitely looking forward to asking her more about that film. So, as a matter of fact, with Jebadiah's Axe, and we'll get a little bit of background info on that. Jebadiah lived on his land for many years. He worked the land and he kept it alive. Jebadiah also hated trespassers. When he died defending his right to remain on his land, he was buried there. That was a month ago. Now there are strangers on his land again, and they want to make his land their own. Jebadiah still hates trespassers. So this sounds absolutely awesome. Cannot wait to see it. I have not actually seen the film yet, but this is not the first time Jebadiah's Axe has come to my attention. The film was directed by Jim Duvall. It was written by Jim. Of course, we have Deborah. Kirby Little is in the film. John Barron. Rod Hermanson. So, Debbie D's in the film. Hey, Debbie. So I'm excited. It's definitely, like I said, it's a film I want, and it looks like she might be on.
Hello.
This is Mike Jones. Hello, is this Deborah?
How are you? Yes, this is Deborah.
I'm good. How are you? I was just, right before you came on, I was just starting to fill people in a little bit about some of your films, and we'll definitely cover your entire career. But to start off, how are you?
Good, good. Are we in the air or not yet?
Oh, yes, we're on the air.
Ah, okay. Fantastic. I was not sure.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes. Yes, live show. And I'll send you the archive of the show the next day. So, well, let me ask you this.
Yes.
You know, I was telling people a little bit how you did the audition for the Baywatch producers in 2007, and that's how you got your start into the American film market, and you did Screen Farm.
That was in 2005.
Oh, okay.
The Baywatch producer was in 2005. Yeah. And
we all know how IMDb is.
In IMDb, say 2007.
It actually says 2008.
Really? Oh no,
yeah,
the Baywatch producers doesn't show. The Baywatch producer is not in IMDb. I'm saying that the Baywatch producer happened in 2005.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and afterwards the Screen Farm in 2007 when we shot, and in IMDb say 2008 because it was released in 2008.
Okay. Well, tell us a little bit how you first got involved in the industry, even before all of that, because you did a lot of work in Argentina and stuff as well, correct?
Yeah, in Argentina I was a wannabe model who was very young and without any idea how to start a career, and I didn't fit to be really a model because they are very tall and very skinny. But I was fit to be the typical actress and model who appear in a lot of magazines in bikini and a lot of TV shows, and especially in a sketch that they are part of comedy TV shows. I was perfect for that because the look and the body that they wanted. So they really wanted me to be involved, and I was starting like in different ways, like appearing in the part of the panel or dancing like a performer. In the same time, I was a student, so I was doing promotions for different companies. You know, promotions. The usual, you represent the company with the uniform and the beautiful models, making attention in big events. So I was that in a very early age, and you know they pay well. I was doing that all the time as much as I could for Coca-Cola, for Benetton, stuff like that. And I was in the exhibition of the car shows. You know, when the model is representing the company and she is part of the exhibition of the cars or the bikinis or whatever product that they want to put in the conventions. So then I saw a big future to get bigger in the TV industry in Argentina, and you know, the producer who approached me wanted me to be part of a group of girls that they were singers and performers, but in the side they were doing sexual stuff for like a big escort service, and I didn't want because that's not what I want to do in life. So I just decided not to get involved with any of the entertainment business in Argentina, and I moved to Miami to work in my university degree that is advertising with marketing, and things start to happen in another direction like modeling and acting that I didn't really
let me ask you that.
At all.
Well, like some of the earlier things, you know, that are both listed in your IMDb biography and stuff. Tell us a little bit about the MTV commercial shoot and the interview you did with PlayBoy TV. How did those come about for you?
That was my first experience like an actress, actually, the MTV, because I was I had the approach from different people to model. So I was modeling and going to auditions, and I didn't know that they are going to send me to audition for TV commercials. They just sent me there, and I didn't know what to expect, and was MTV for a TV commercial, and I had no any idea about acting, and I was in Spanish, so that was perfect for me. And They gave me the little script, and I was waiting there for like a half an hour until they called me. And when I did my audition, the cast director and the director, they look each other and they say to me, "So good, so you are an actress, correct?" And I was like, no, I am not. And they didn't believe me because I obviously developed my lines very well. And they go like, you did a good job. We're going to call you maybe Wednesday. And then they called me, and they called me for rehearsal and to try the costume that I have to wear. And they go like, okay, you have to represent a doctor. You have to wear these horrible glasses and with your hair back. And I was like, oh, my God, because, I was accustomed to always be the beautiful, not the doctor with ugly glasses. So I was like, I don't want to look ugly. And they go like, you will not going to look ugly, but you will not going to be sexy. And just do it the same that you did in the audition. So the script is a little bit longer. And I did perfect TV commercial that was all over South America every 15 minutes in MTV.
Wow.
So my parents and my grandparents were so happy because they saw me every 15 minutes on the screen.
That's cool. Well, now let me ask you this. Now, how did that parlay into the PlayBoy interview?
Well, I was modeling also between different things. I was modeling for a big photographer for PlayBoy. He used to have art galleries in Salvage, 5-star art gallery in Salvage, and I was his favorite model because I was shooting perfectly, and also I gave him ideas about to shoot in outdoors. And he did an amazing job, and they always wanted to interview him, and he always say, of course, with the models, he always chose me to be the model for his articles, interviews, whatever. And he offered me to be in the competition for Miss PlayBoy TV, and another producer that was representing me in that moment, he wanted me to get involved also in PlayBoy TV, like in a contest, for to be the queen. And I was like, I don't want to risk myself to lose the competition. If I lose the competition, I'm going to freak out. And they were like, you will not going to lose it. And I was like, I don't want to compete in this. If I am in PlayBoy someday, it's going to be because I am a big actress, and they're going to pay me a lot of money to be in the cover of PlayBoy magazine. And they were like, huh?
I like that. I mean, you have a standard to you, which is, and it's not to say that a lot of young actresses don't, but I mean, there's a certain integrity that you need to carry yourself with, and from everything you've said so far, you've certainly done that, and it's an admirable trait to see.
Yeah, well, they also I was like, also, if I become the queen of PlayBoy TV, then I have to work for them for a few years and be naked all over, and I didn't want to start that way. So I want to start the other way, and that's naked in the magazine, like I'm saying, because I am big in another stuff. But they offered me to do an interview of me, like top model for this photographer. So the interview was mix of me as a model and like him, like a photographer. So they've been shooting a photo shoot. He was doing a photo shoot of me, and PlayBoy was filming me swimming inside the water, taking an outdoor shower, it was absolutely artistic and very beautiful production and very well done. I saw the video. They never gave me the copy, by the way. But,
wow, that's terrible.
They promised me, and they never gave me. I think they never gave the copies to the model because they would want the model to put anywhere,
right?
In the website or YouTube or whatever. They don't want that material outside if it's not by TV channel from Playboy. But Playboy at that moment was something else. Was something much conservative and more artistic because, for what I know, they changed the owner in the last 3 years, and they do now it's pornography. That's what I. That's what.
Yeah, big difference.
Yeah, it's a big difference. And actually, the quality of models is not the same, for what I know. Before they used to be very picky. But I am glad that I did just a video that was very well done, very artistic, and a lot of exposure all over the world. But nothing else. I never really become stable in Playboy or the Playboy bunny that works for them for many years, you know. It's nothing wrong, just I didn't want to start that way.
Sure, no, I mean, I certainly understand that. I mean, you look at, she may not be the best example, but, I mean, you look at someone like a Tracy Lords who got her start in pornography and then tried to go legitimate, and it seems like once you start that way, you just, no matter what you do, you can't legitimize your career after that. So you're right. When you're a maid actress and you do it, it's considered art. If you're not a maid actress, you're considered less. And it's kind of sad because that's not always the case. But, well, since you can't find it, I mean, that's...
sometimes with some Playboy bunnies and Miss Playboy TV, I've been working with them sometimes. And... for what I know, is the producers automatically think that she's an easy catch, you know, and they send the proposal before to give her a role, something like that. And I don't want to give the wrong image to the producers or to anybody, actually. I am not a very conservative person, but I was not going to promote myself for people to see whatever. Actually, when they sent me to Utah, to Salt Lake City to present me like a model who from Miami who was in Playboy. And in Utah and Salt Lake City, there is a lot of very conservative people from the Mormon religion. And on the plane, they told me, if you're going to say that you've been in Playboy, they're going to eat you alive. And I was like, what do you mean? They will kill you, they will not like you. And I was like, oh my God, looks like dangerous. But no, I had people downstairs in the hotel waiting for me, asking me for attention, like sign me here or say hello to my boyfriend on the phone. Oh my God, can I take pictures?
Oh yeah.
People was very nice, but they did an interview of me on the radio, and they asked me a few questions that I was like, they are thinking wrong about me because I've been in Playboy, one video only. Because they asked me if I go with guys for money or stuff like that, and I say,
Lord.
Yeah, because they say to me, for what we know, most of the Playboy girls, they do that. And I was like, if I do that, trust me, I am going to have a Ferrari downstairs in the lobby of my building.
You said you don't have a copy of that. I have a lot of friends who are able to find things, so I'll see if I can find the interview that you're in, and I'll send you a copy of that. I'll see if I can find it.
I remember that the actor that was from Argentina. Actually, in me.
Now, after that, you did a couple more things on TV. You were on a show called The Moment of Truth, and you also did something called America's Shadows: HIV Risk in Black and Latino Youth. Now,
I always
tell us
say
a little
about
bit
The Moment of Truth is so funny.
What's that?
I'm sorry, I am laughing myself.
It's okay. Tell us a little bit how you got involved with the American Shadows Project.
That was which year was? let me check.
That was the HIV. That was the HIV thing you did. You played the doctor in that.
Yeah, well,
that
they
was.
were doing interviews, and they chose me to do that. Talk about it, but it was not a big deal.
Oh.
But I
okay.
have credits on IMDb, so every credit for me is welcome.
Well, let me ask you this: you did a lot of TV earlier in your career. Then you did you had the audition with the Baywatch producer, and then you started doing film. Now, what did you notice when you did Scream Farm, your first film? What were the differences to you between working on television and now working on film?
Well, it's a big difference because, first of all, I was making much more money on the TV shows because it's like the TV shows were done in Miami, and they sent me the driver to take me to the channel, and then we shoot for an hour, and then I am done, and they pay me for that hour that I air in the TV show. But to get paid for the film, you have to shoot the entire film to get paid. And at the beginning, it's very little.
Right.
That's one of the biggest difference. The other is that in the TV shows, I didn't have to memorize a lot of lines at all. I mean, sometimes we did a sketch, and it was not a big script going on, you know, whereas short sketch for the TV show. So it was much easier for me to perform than for the movie, because for the movie is sometimes a lot of dialogue, and I have to study and remember my lines, and especially in English, it's more difficult. In Spanish, for me, it's easier. And also in the TV shows was more a lot of improvising. A lot of things were spontaneous, and I become accustomed to be funny on TV. So sometimes I become a little bit funny on the radios or interviews or whatever. I'm like, why I become funny? It's just the way I've been doing live shows in the Latin American market. And I did also radio. I was a special guest every Friday for a radio show for the Latin market. Like I'm saying, the language is different. The lines are shorter for TV shows. The money is bigger. But the Americans definitely are very organized, and I like that. They are more organized than Latins. They try to make things done as quick as possible and be very responsible. So I like that about the Americans. They are very like a little more disciplined, you know. When they say at 6:30, it's at 6:30.
Right. Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm an effects artist, so I know what you mean. When it's time to go, it's time to go. Well, now let me ask you this. So you did your first film, Scream Farm, horror film. Was horror something that you had always wanted to get into? How did you get involved with Scream Farm?
Well, actually, my first films were short films. Was a short film that was kind of a thriller, and then I did a Scream Farm, and then I did another 2 shorts. Scream Farm was my first feature film. How I got involved, I had a modeling website on the internet, and also I have my profile like a model on different websites for our talents and models that they are looking for audition or for a job. And the producer from the Scream Farm, he contacted me, and because he saw my profile on my website, he went to MySpace, and we've been chatting on and off to figure out if I want to be in the film. And of course I wanted to be in the film. Why not? I mean, I think it's a...
But nowadays...
Well,
like nowadays, I'll give you an example. Like, you remember the interview series I did with you when I asked you if you would be part of Deadly Beauties for Horror Society? A lot of young actresses these days, And I'm not necessarily using the term scream queen because your past, you have certainly done more than horror. You are not a horror only actress, but a lot of young ladies today are almost offended by the fact that they are recognized for working in the horror industry. They don't want that stigmata. So I guess what I'm asking is when you started doing, feature length films like this, was horror your first choice, or do you see yourself more as a dramatic actor as opposed to a horror actress?
No, actually, I always loved comedy, and I wanted to be in a feature film, like the lead actress for a romantic comedy. That's what I was expecting, but the actors, they have to start in whatever way. It could be some of them start like an extra, some of them start on TV commercials, some of them start in the horror, some of them in Playboy, whatever way, whatever possibility they should take. I had the possibility to be in comedy in the Latin market, in TV commercials and modeling and now horror, and also now I am doing thriller for a TV series, and I have 4 or 5 thriller mixed with crime feature films coming up. So I never got stuck in the horror film industry. Always I've been working in another stuff. So if they put me in an article like Scream Queen, horror, vixen, whatever, I don't get offended because actually the horror film industry has a lot of follow, and I really respect the people who love horror films, and I appreciate and I feel an honor that they think I am a scream queen. I never gonna get offended. Why I should? I am.
Yeah, I think it's odd too. Like I said, it's just and it's not a lot, but I mean, it seems like the younger generation of actresses almost resent the fact that this is where a lot of actresses get their start is in horror. So now after that, you had talked about 2 more shorts. I believe you were talking about Closing Arguments and Roberto. Were those the 2 you were talking about?
No, Closing Arguments was before the Scream Farm. Then was Scream Farm. Then was my comedy short film. And then I did another short film that the name is Blu-Ray Vision. And I did another feature film, horror film that is Hellglade. I did a lot of stuff. Some of them are in IMDb and some of them are not in IMDb. I did another short film that is mixed comedy with horror. Actually, it's more drama than horror. The name is The Knot. Roberto, that is comedy. I did a lot of stuff, and some of them have credits in IMDb, some of them no. For example, right now I am doing a TV series that is thriller mixed with crime, and they don't have credits in IMDb yet, but maybe they will. I hope so.
Usually they catch up. Now, this is one that I know we've texted a little bit back and forth on Facebook about. Tell us about Jebadiah's Axe. I was shooting these feature films in June in Dallas, Texas, in East Dallas, by a big lake, and it was a big adventure and was a great experience for a week. It was hard. It was really hard work, a lot of sacrifice, so many hours. And now I am going to Dallas for the premiere on October 28th, so I am very, very happy. Before you came on, I was telling the audience a little bit about the film, and let's see here it is. Tell us a little bit. tell us a little bit about working with Jim DeVault, who was the writer and director of the film. Was he one of those directors that was really strict and was like, you got to play it this way, or was he the type of director that kind of gave you a little bit of leniency in playing your role?
Oh, no, he was no hard director at all. He's very easygoing with the actors, but he knows the way things want to be done, so he's very strict with the other people with who he worked with, the people with the camera or people with lighting or stuff like that. He's strict with the technicians, but not with the actors. No, he's very friendly and very nice. Actually, for me, it was very easy to work with him.
Now, you mentioned that you're getting ready to head back there for the premiere. Now, of course, with social media, the ability to be able to promote your films and your projects, is so much easier. It's easier to get the news. I've seen Jebadiah's acts posted all over Facebook. I'm friends with several of the people involved, and of course, I've gotten updates from you when you were doing stuff from it. What do you think about this movie sets it apart from everything else that's coming out right now?
What I think about what?
What do you think about Jebadiah's acts that sets it apart from any other film that people could go rent at the store? What was it that really drew your attention to the film?
What drew my attention to Jebadiah's acts? That I am the lead main actress.
Right, but I mean, like, was it like when you read the script? I mean, was it the script writing that spoke to you? Was it the emotional content of the character? What was it about it, though, that made you go, yes, I want to play the lead in this film?
No, I was chatting with the producer, and he told me that I fit a lot of roles in the movie, and he told me to choose the role that I feel that I fit, that I feel comfortable with. And I was reading the synopsis, and I was reading the bio of each character, and to me, I mean, every character was fine,
right.
Except a few of them that they have some nudity, and I didn't want to do nude. So I told him, listen, I see like 5 different characters that I can represent, but I would like you to tell me which is the character that you want me to play. And he goes like, what about Rose? So I went to the script, and I saw that Rose was the main lead actress, and I was like, oh my God. So you want me to be the main lead actress? And you say yes. And I was so happy. I mean, I didn't expect to become main lead actress from a feature film, So.
Now, what are you most looking forward to at the premiere? Are you, because like I said, it seems like the fan following the film has is very excited. So, when you go to a premiere of a film, what's the part that excites you the most? Is it seeing the film on the screen? Is it meeting the fans afterwards? I mean, what part of the premieres do you enjoy the most?
I am very nervous right now because I never saw myself in the big screen, and I am very perfectionist and autocritical, and I am like that since the day that I born. So for me, going to be very, maybe in some way I am going to be happy, and I'm going to like the way I develop my lines and the way I look, and in another parts I am going to be like disappointed and angry with myself, and I'm going to say, I don't like this, I hate it.
Now I've got to ask you though, because that opens up an interesting question. Why have you never watched any of your films like that?
Well, the premiere of the Screen Forum was in Alabama, and they didn't pay my ticket to go to the premiere, so
oh, okay.
I didn't go. And the other short films, they've been all over in film festivals. So in another state, so I didn't go. And the other feature films that I had done, some of them are still in post-production, and some of them are in unknown status. So it's the first time. It's the first time that I am going to see myself in the biggest screen, and
I can tell you, it was weird. The first time I did it, the first film I did was Forever Dead, and it was, shot on video. And I'll never forget the first time we premiered it, and I watched myself on screen. It was a very surreal moment because in a lot of ways I'm like you. I'm very critical of my work, whether I'm doing effects work or if I'm writing or interviewing someone, and to have the suspension of disbelief to see myself get killed on camera was absolutely amazing. It's almost the closest thing I can equate it to is having a child. It's almost like when my daughter was born. It was like, oh my God, I've actually done it. And I think you'll feel the same way when you see it. It's, horror fans, we love that kind of stuff. So I don't think you have anything to worry about when it comes to that.
I don't know. I just saw myself in videos and TV, DVDs, but I never saw myself in the big screen. It's different when you watch it with a crowd, though. It's different when you watch it with a crowd. It is so much more fun. Like I said, I think you'll enjoy it. Well, that brings me to your next film. Hopefully we're going to have a couple drinks.
Before, after, during. Yeah, I've done that too.
Yeah, because if I don't have a drink, I'm going to be angry when I finish the movie. I'm going to say, I didn't like this angle. I didn't like my nose or whatever. I don't want to do that. I just want to laugh, and that's it.
Well, I mean, the theater experience is unique, and like I said, I think you'll enjoy watching one of your films with the audience. But now I want to ask you about this next film, and I'm going to go out on a limb and say I guess you've filmed this already. It's Joe Hollow's Disciples. Mm-hmm. Have you already started filming that, or is that one on IMDb that's not started yet?
It's in post-production right now.
Okay. Good.
We shot in Los Angeles last year, and actually was end of February in Los Angeles for like around 10 days, and was a very nice experience because the location was an amazing castle with water around, and big actors were involved, and was very cold. That's the only part. Always is something,
That's what I wanted to ask you about. I mean, I'm looking over the cast list, and just to give the audience an idea, we've got Linnea Quigley, Brink Stevens, Deborah Lamb, Tony Todd, Angus Scrim, Bill Moseley, Debbie Rochon, Rachel Grubb. I mean that's a who's who of who's in the horror industry. Let's just start here. You have Linnea, you have Brink, you have Deborah, Debbie, and Rachel. You have those women right there comprise a good portion of the horror films, the lead actresses of films spanning back from the 80s till now. How was it being on set with, for lack of a better term, horror royalty like that?
Well, depends of the actor. We are three Deborahs. It's so funny. Deborah Lamb, Deborah Rochon, and Deborah Funes in this movie. So when the producer says Deborah, three of us say, what? The same name. No, it was very nice experience to share, in especially with Deborah Lamb. I have some parts together, some dialogue going on, and she's a very cool lady, and I am looking forward to work with her again. Also, to share with another actors like Camden Toy. He's a very cool, well-known actor, especially for the special effects in his makeup. And Angus Scream, was the lead actor for Phantasm in the 80s.
Oh, yes.
And now he's a very old man who is so adorable. I had the opportunity to perform with him also. And Tony Todd is a well-known actor, and I had the opportunity to talk to him and see how short I look next to him. He's 6'7".
Yeah, he's not a small guy.
Talked to. Yeah, he's one of the tallest men I ever talked to in my life. And, definitely was a big experience for me, very interesting people. Some of them are very friendly, some of them are very unfriendly, but I respect the careers that they have. And
and that's what I was going to ask you was, certainly when you have that many people who have done that many big horror films, it's only natural that, there would be some ego involved when it comes to that. But as an overall experience, I mean, one of the things that I was taught working on set was no matter how many films you've done, no matter who you've worked with, you can always learn something new on set. What do you feel like you took away from working with this film?
I never thought about it. I have learned that I can overcome the pain. My grandfather died the same day that I had to perform with Angus Scream, and I was extremely in big depression, and I just wanted to be alone and cry. But I put all that pain in the back because I didn't want to ruin my makeup. I didn't want to ruin the shooting. So I have learned that I have very strong energy that I can manage in the ways that I want, and even if it's so difficult sometimes, was really, really extremely tough experience for me that day, and I'm never gonna forget. And what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. So I think doesn't matter what's going on in the personal life of the actor. If you are a good actor, you can overcome your pain or whatever drama that you can have at home or in your personal life, and you can keep the character and focus in your work. This is what I learned in this movie. It was very strong thing what I learned. Yeah.
I mean, I'm definitely looking forward to it. I mean, that movie just looks like it could have everything I could ever want in it. So, but now let me ask you about one more because. Well, yeah, I mean, you're in it as well. I mean, I've watched your demo reels, and I've got the Scream one on order right now. So, I definitely want to see it. Not just the actors, but I mean, the idea seems good. And again, the people that I interview, I certainly like to watch their films, and this is one that I'll definitely be watching out for. But we have about 10 minutes left, so I want to ask you about this one. And this one says rumored, so I understand if you have no information about this one, but you're rumored to be in a thriller called Devil's Choice. Is there anything you can tell us about that film?
Yeah, absolutely. The producer, Marlene Mendoza, she's a writer, and she's from California. She offered me a role in another feature film before to offer me the lead role in the Devil's Choice. She gave me a small role in The Mob, that is a thriller and drama feature film. And after we keep chatting, and later on she offered me lead role in Devil's Choice. And I am so proud because this is the biggest project I ever been involved, and I am the main lead actress, and I love the project. It's about casino, mafia. It's mixed thriller with horror, with the crime, and I mean, this movie is going to have a lot of going to make a lot of attention because it's going to be a mix of 007 and like Casino Royale with I don't know, with Ocean 13, something like that.
Are you guys
I am so happy.
Are you expecting like mainstream theatrical release for that film?
I don't know what she expects. Honestly, it's too early to say that, but it's almost $1 million movie, so I expect they want a big distribution. I don't think they want to end up in DVD, you know?
No, I certainly understand that. Now, one of the last things I wanted to ask you about, one of the things that I've noticed is I went to your Cafe Press store and I was just looking over the wealth of merchandising that you've done. T-shirts, calendars, bags, doggy T-shirts. I mean, just the wealth of stuff that you have with your branding. Just to give some help to the young up-and-comer actors and actresses. How important have you found branding to be for yourself, and how much do you feel that doing it yourself on Cafe Press is more viable and profitable than going through an agency to do it?
I don't think the agencies do this for the actors, really. I don't think the agency move a finger to even promote the actors anywhere, unless it's a big management, unless it's a big agent. And the small agencies or medium agencies, they have hundreds of talent. They don't have time to build a shop for the actor or a website or photo shoots to update the portfolio. That's things that the actor has to do itself. Unless, like I say, unless they have a big management going on, you know.
Right.
I really don't put any expectations in the small and medium agencies because I've been with so many, and I got a lot of work by myself. So now I manage my career by myself until I find a big agent that can do a better job than me. At this moment, I am the one who is doing everything.
Right, and to go along with that is, how much do you find that handling your own marketing works better for you?
Well, I mean, I think what specifically you want to ask? How I feel about it to manage my marketing?
Well, no. What I'm saying is that a lot of people that manage themselves usually don't do a lot of merchandise like you have. Like I said, the T-shirts, the cups, the bags. How much do you feel like doing all of that helps get your name out there? And
I think it's part of my other profession because I am professional in advertising with marketing. So my mind is set up for that. I studied 5 years university. I don't think like the most of the actors. I think like a different actor who knows what he's doing. Because if I study 5 years in university to be able to promote the image of another people and the products of companies and services from another company, why was not going to use that knowledge for my own career? I mean,
sure.
It's ridiculous if I put all that knowledge in the garbage. I am absolutely using everything I understand and everything I knew and learned and practiced in advertising and marketing, I am using in my own profession of acting. That's why I am the manager of myself. And some talents here in Miami. They want me to help them, and if I tell them that I'm gonna manage the career, I am sure that more than 10 gonna jump and gonna say yes, manage my career. But honestly, I don't want that compromise right now because I'm very focused in my career until I am a little more stable in a higher level. So I am focused in me myself right now.
And there's nothing wrong with that. It's good to see that you know, you are your own handler. You know, you take care of yourself, and it shows. You know, to me, it's a good example of showing that you know you don't necessarily need an agent to do what you do. So, you know, education is important, and you're showing that.
Not only that, I receive so many people messages asking me for help in the career to start or to become better in what they are doing. And honestly, I will not going to spend the half of my day or not even 2 hours every day to teach people how to manage the career, because you cannot learn not even in a couple hours to do that. It's something that you need to take classes of someone like me who teach you how to manage your own career. So I created in my website a part where if someone wants to learn how to manage the career, they have to take my classes and pay for it. So if they want to invest, how to manage their own career, fantastic. If they don't want to invest, they're never going to know how to manage their own career, and they're going to wait for the big agents someday appear. So I am not trying to take advantage of people. Actually, I don't even advertise on the Internet about it. But when someone asks me for help over Facebook, I say, listen, you need to take classes with me, and you need to take care of me for that, because my time is money. My time is important for me. So I was not going to teach them by Facebook, sending 5 messages. With 5 messages by Facebook, okay, now they know how to manage their own career. It's not like that. It's not like that at all. And also I have to analyze the profile of each actor to tell them how to manage this part or that part or that part, because they don't know. You can be the best actor in the world, but if you don't know how to move, or if you don't find a good manager, a good agent, it's almost impossible to become successful.
Right. Well, we're coming to the end of the interview. Are there any other projects that you would like to tell everyone about?
Yeah, well, I have a supporting role in another feature film that is about the Holocaust. It's a part of the Jewish history. The name is Bracha, and also they call this movie The Wheel of Love. It's very, very big project, and they are going to put some 8 actors. So I am very proud of this movie also, and I have in my hands another project that probably I am going to co-produce with a writer and producer. I don't want to say too much yet, but I have in my hands the opportunity to start like a producer, and that's one of my goals, to end up being not only a actor if it's possible, but a producer. You know, that could be so amazing. I would like to do that.
Producing is fun. There's a lot of headache involved, but it is fun. Well, I just want to let you know, thank you so much for coming on. We appreciate it. You know that if you ever have any news, please send it along, and I'll make sure it goes up on Horror Society. I'm going to give everyone your anytime. www.deborahfunes.com for your official website. You're also listed on IMDb. There is your Cafe Press store, cafepress.com /Deborah Shop. And then I have one more.
My fan page on Facebook and Twitter.
That's right. Sorry, the computer has been acting funny all night. And, yes, there is your fan page on Facebook, so fans can get in touch with you there. Well, again, thank you for coming on. You're welcome anytime. If there's anything I can ever promote for you, please let me know. All right,
thank you for the interview.
Anytime, and we hope to talk to you soon.
Yeah, I hope so too. You are very welcome.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, that was actress and model Deborah Funes. So, you know, some of the work that she's getting ready to do looks like it's going to be absolutely fantastic. If you're interested in checking out any of her other horror, please check out Scream Farm, which was in 2008. We have Jebadiah's Axe, which is getting another premiere here in Texas soon, and hopefully we will see it on DVD. Keep an eye out for the thriller Disciples, which is coming up as well. And in the future, we have Devil's Choice. This is, once again, your host, Michael Jones, the Dedman from Horror Society. And it is once again time to head into our Metal Blade Spotlight. The second song this evening from our feature artist, Facebreaker, off of the CD dedicated to Flesh. The name of the song is Carving for Brains.
Run,
and that was Facebreaker. The name of the album was dedicated to the flesh. The name of the song was Carving for Brains. So just a little bit of background info on our boys Facebreaker here. Their first album was in 2003. Their first full-length studio album was called Blood Red Hell. In 2007, they did their second full-length album, Dead, Rotten, and Hungry. 2010, they did an album called Infected, and of course, this one is dedicated to the flesh, zombie death metal. And definitely, I reviewed the CD earlier today for HorrorSociety.com, and it's, like I said, it's one of those CDs that if the zombie apocalypse was going down, this was it, man. I mean, the music reminds me of how a zombie attack would go down. It's just constant, steady, guttural, with that viciousness. And I think the CD has all of that in spades. It doesn't try to overpower you with tremendous amounts of screaming or just incomprehensible drum beats and guitar riffs. It's actually very, very entertaining. So I hope I'm saying everyone's names right. Roberth, Jan, Jonas, Micah, and Mikhail, great job, guys. I kind of hope you come somewhere close to Raleigh, North Carolina one day on tour. I would definitely love to see a show live. So you can definitely check Facebreaker out over at Metal Blade Records. Check them out on Facebook. I believe they're on Twitter as well. And again, the name of the album was Dedicated to the Flesh. Highly, highly recommend it. So check them out. And make sure to stay tuned at the end when we will be doing a preview spotlight of next week's Metal Blade Records artist. So it's time for a DVD giveaway. We are giving away 2 DVD prize pack tonight. So if you would like to win 2 DVDs or a Blu-ray and a DVD from Scream Factory, please give us a call at 1-347-5099. I'd love to give it away. I think you will enjoy the product. So speaking of Scream Factory, tonight we are going to finish out the Amityville Horror Trilogy box set from Scream Factory. Tonight's movie is indeed Amityville 3D, starring Tony Roberts, Tess Harper, and Candy Clark. So some interesting cameos in there. Meg Ryan, it'd blow you away to see that. It's kind of cool to see. And to give you the background, in Amityville 3D, the House of Unspeakable Evil is back to torment all that cross its threshold as Dino De Laurentiis and legendary director Robert Fleischer of 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea present a horror picture of considerable class and polish, as quoted by the LA Times. To debunk the Amityville house infamous reputation and take advantage of a rock-bottom asking price, skeptical journalist John Baxter, Tony Roberts of the Thorns, buys the place and settles in to write his first novel. But as soon as the ink on the deed is dried, people who have come into contact with him and the house begin to meet with a shocking fate. Is it coincidence, or is this house really the gateway to hell? Tess Harper, who was also in No Country for Old Men, Lori Loughlin, 90210 and Full House, and Meg Ryan, Proof of Life, also star in this 3D Terror Fest. Now, I have to be honest with you. The transfer of the movie is not terrible. That is absolutely not at all it. But you can tell this movie was made to be watched in 3D. As a matter of fact, the movie can be watched in 3D with a 3D TV, 3D Blu-ray player. And I, unfortunately, at this time, do not own a 3D TV, so I'm not able to speak to the 3D aspects. But when you're watching the film, you can certainly tell by the way some of the camera focus is and the way that certain shots are set up. For example, the flashlight scene in the basement. You can definitely tell The Fly the flies that are in the movie, the little spiritual aspect that haunts the Tony Roberts character during the film after his daughter dies, all 3D. And the intro, the title credits are pretty cool from the way it looks, the way it would look in 3D. It has been years since I've seen the movie. I've seen it on 3D on TV when I was, younger, so it's been a long time. Maybe not the best story in the series. 1 and 2 definitely are superior in terms of the tales. 3 definitely, I don't know if stretch is the word that I want. In terms of storytelling, I mean, it's a passable story. The passing of the killing of the daughter, accidental death, however you want to call it. The well in the basement and the epic scene where the one guy gets his face, burnt and pulled down into the well, great stuff. The best effect scene in the film is the car scene where the lady burns to death inside after narrowly missing hitting a what looks like fence poling through the windshield of her car. In terms of a technical aspect, I think the film looks fantastic. There's nothing to complain about on Scream Factory's end. The features were interesting. It's great to get a 2D and 3D presentation of the film. The bonus feature, A Chilly Reception, an interview with actress Candy Clark, was a nice look back into the film. We had the theatrical trailers. So not quite as much in terms of special features on this one, but again, with this film, the third in the series, it held nowhere near the content that the original and the second did. But again, that is not to take away at all from Scream Factory's presentation of the film. As a whole, as a set, to get these 3 films on Blu-ray, Part 3 in 3D, I mean, what more can you ask for? I mean, if the guys over at Paramount would listen and give us Part 3 of Friday the 13th in 3D, we'd all be ecstatic. So, there is something to be said for Scream Factory going, once again, that extra mile to give us a great, collector's edition of important films in our genre's history. So, definitely worth picking up. I still have not gotten an answer on whether or not these films will be available in single formats. But, as a collector's box set, it is definitely the way to go. Make a great Christmas present. It's definitely a great addition to anyone's collection. So I highly, highly recommend picking that up. And once again, if you would like to win a Scream Factory Blu-ray DVD prize pack, please give us a call at 1-347-237-5099. So we're starting to close in on the end of our show. I think we had a great show. I want to say thank you to our friends at Metal Blade, including Kelly. Thank you so much for hooking us up with Facebreaker's most recent CD, dedicated to the flesh. Again, we heard the songs Tombs of the Hungry Dead and Carving for Brains off of their most recent album. So definitely check them out. Again, want to say thank you to Deborah Funes for coming on and being my interview this evening. I'm certainly looking forward to seeing Jebadiah's Acts and Disciples. And when Scream Farm comes in on DVD, I shall certainly do a DVD review of that film. Now, just as something to keep in mind, something special for tomorrow, or for next week's show. Next week's show, we will be having author and actress Barbie Wilde. The Venus Complex is the book. Her famous acting role, as most of you would know her, would be the female Cenobite in Hellraiser 2. We will also be joined by Simon Bamford, who played the Butterball Cenobite, and Nicholas Vince, who played the Chatterer Cenobite, again, all from Hellraiser 2. We will be discussing all of their work, both literary, as they are all writers, Barbie and Nicholas being authors, short story, and full-length fiction writers. Simon does a lot of play review. We will also be talking, of course, Hellraiser, the ideas of possible new remakes if they would reprise their roles, what their thoughts were on the set while they were making the films. I also talk a little bit to Nicholas and Simon about the Cabal cut of Nightbreed. So that is something you are definitely going to want to tune into and listen to. I think it'll be a great show. There'll be great guests for the week of Halloween. So once again, I want to thank everybody, our friends at Scream Factory. Tom, thank you very much for everything you do for us and supplying the films that we review. Make sure to watch out for the Amityville Horror Trilogy box set review on HorrorSociety.com. That will be up later this week. Next week's films, we're going to start looking at the Vincent Price collection, which I know a lot of fans are licking their lips over, so we will start coverage of that. We will have our Metal Blade artist spotlight. That band will be Hail of Bullets. Their new album comes out next week. It is the third, The Rommel Chronicles. The name of the song is Swoop of the Falcon. So until next week, ladies and gentlemen, have a good time. Get ready for Halloween and rest in